Good morning, afternoon, evening again from me and Sandy here. Coury is finishing up the subtitles for the Japan project, and we've got a little more information on that. He finally finished the edit maybe a week and a half ago, something like that, and it's approved. It's good to go. He didn't have to change anything. And he is getting the subtitles ready, various subtitle tracks, Japan, subtitles just for the Japanese speakers, subtitles for English. We're hoping to have Spanish and Japanese too, if we have time to pull that together. But it's just going to take him another day or so to finish that subtitle track, finish making the Blu-ray, and we think we can release that on our channel around May, probably, but it'll be announced what it is and what game it's being included with within a month, probably within the next 2 or so weeks, actually. And so while he was waiting for approval on that, he started work on a best way to play Phantasy Star, the original Phantasy Star series, the 1 through 4, which is kind of going to be in the format of that Castlevania Rondo and Requiem video that both of us handled. I edited it, but it was very collaborative between how we gathered the footage and stuff. It's going to be a similar format to that, which is that was a format. Sandy, don't lick the couch. Don't lick the couch. That's gross. That's kind of the format we want for game videos going forward, where we kind of look at a certain sub-series of game, or maybe an entire series, and we look at, we just celebrate it. We talk about what it is, why it's important, and examine all the different ways that people might want to play those. And in the meantime, I'm working on one that's going to take a little longer, but I've been capturing lots and lots and lots of 2D Mario game footage. And so I'm going to do the best way to play the Super Mario 2D series. But of course, since it's also kind of a celebration of those series, the Mario one, I feel like you can't just introduce Mario in only a few words. In my mind, at least, it's so monumental, so significant, so important. I'm going to try and not get too long-winded, but it ain't going to be short. That's for sure. So, we might have a 3-ish week gap in between the PSIO episode and the Phantasy Star episode, just because of Coury putting getting these subtitle tracks ready, which it'll be just good to have that done. But going forward, we're hoping for it to be more of like a 2-ish week gap between videos. So anyway, that's a bit of a ramble, but Coury did a little collector's edition unboxing earlier this week, just like I did a few weeks ago, and let's check out what he's got.
That's such a fun time watching Try unbox his ukulele limited edition. So I thought I'd do a little bit of one of my own this week. And I have right here, I have the Another World 20th Anniversary Edition from Limited Run Games. So there's very, very few games that I would actually buy a limited edition of these days. They're pretty big, and like I just don't have the space for them anymore. But Another World is one of the games that I'm just really, really passionate about it. There's something about this game that has always just kind of stuck with me. Probably an unpopular approach to it is that the first version I ever played was the Super Nintendo version. I've never played the Amiga version, but I played the Genesis version, the Sega CD version, but there's just something about Another World, or as I like to call it, Out of This World, that I just love. It's so weird, and it's got a pretty good story, and it's, especially if you played the sequel, it's kind of a downer. He gets sent to an alternate world. You have no idea, like kind of an alternate dimension or something. This guy here, Lester, and he has no way to get home. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but he doesn't get home. So this one is kind of based on a PC big box edition. I thought it was fun. And I felt like that I needed to have it when I saw that it was going to be available. I actually ordered it with this. Both of these went on sale the same day, so Golf Story showed up with it. I know a lot of people got these a long time ago, but hey. So should we open this up? Let's do it. I don't think it's going to be quite as involved as the ukulele edition. Special edition, but we'll see. We'll open this. We'll take off the shrink wrap, and then we'll kind of look at the box a little bit more. The Definitive Collector's Edition. It has all these kind of old awards on here. It's kind of fun. Most innovative new game of the year from EGM. So it shows all these kind of cool screenshots. I did a video on this, but not really on this specifically, in a long time ago. When I talked about Heart of Darkness, which was the developer of this, Eric Chahi. That was his, or Chai, or however you want to pronounce it. That was his kind of his second game. It's kind of his follow up. So it includes Another World. It includes the game, a commemorative floppy disk, a development diary, and a code wheel. So yeah, that's kind of I like the little awards that are on here. That is this, and I love this piece of art too. It's so bizarre. So let's open it. It kind of opens up like a old PC big box. So of course we have the game right here. I'm so happy to finally own a physical copy of this game, of the HD version. A lot of people talk about playing it on. There's a new Jaguar version that came out a couple of years ago that's very good. Maybe better than this, but I'm very happy to have a version that is the 20th anniversary edition on disc. So yeah, you got your standard PS4 game. So underneath here, let's take a look. Oh, there's the floppy disk. That's pretty cool. CBM Amiga. It does not have the disc in it though. I wonder if it actually opens. Should I open? Let's open it up. Let's see if the plate actually moves on it. It does. Look at that. It just does not have the actual magnetic, whatever it is that goes in there, magnetic tape. That's cool. Kind of a neat little keepsake, I suppose. So usually stuff like this I'm not really too invested in, and I'm still not. Just like little trinkets. Like I basically pull them out, look at them, and then it's like, okay, we'll put it back in the box and we're done with it. So there's that. Next we have the code wheel. I don't know, since I never played it on the Amiga, I don't know exactly what this is for. I don't know if this has anything to do with the tank section. But I always thought that was just about hitting random buttons. I assume that this has something to do with the Amiga version. I'm sure somebody can enlighten me on it, on the actual usefulness of something like this. That's pretty neat. I miss when you needed stuff like this. A lot of computer games came with stuff like this, which was pretty cool. Oh, we got it. We got a poster of the artwork. I'm not going to open that up, but it's cool. But because it's folded, it becomes less appealing to frame it, I guess. But that is really it's just such a good piece of art. I guess I just open it up all the way. But the folds kind of make it a little bit worthless, I guess. Still cool to have, especially if I ever needed this piece of artwork for for B-roll purposes. Looks like it's like an oil painting originally. I wonder who owns the actual painting of this. Probably Eric Chai. All right, and I assume this is the oh, look at that. The developer diary. Sorry, is that out of focus there? Oh, look. So this is from Moby Games. They even got the Moby Games watermark on it. Oh, so it shows all the different versions. See, for some reason, I've always just called it Out of This World. I mean, not for some reason. It's because that was originally how I knew the game. So a lot of times you'll hear me refer to it as Out of This World, even though I know the proper term is Another World, the proper title. So there's Heart of the Alien. That's kind of a pricey game where you play as the alien. Probably my favorite part about Heart of the Alien is how at the very beginning you're seeing the entire events of the first game from the perspective of the alien. There's one specific part that I always think of where you're like run out on a bridge, and in the foreground you see the alien run by, just like his head and shoulders run by, and like they're chasing after him. There's all kinds of lasers going by him. And then in this game, during the intro, you see that from the alien's point of view, where he's like running and he's like normal size, and way off in the background, you see Lester running, and he jumps into this cavern. That's probably my favorite part about it. All the different versions. These are cool. They're all from Moby Games, though. I wonder if they just couldn't supply actual artwork. It's a little cheap looking, I gotta say. It seems it's very, very bare bones. Oh, so it is okay. So here's an introduction from Eric Chai. Find the following pages: a set of drawings, notes, and sketches made by the author during the creation of this game. It's cool seeing this all on here, but these pages are not exactly the most. It's not the most nicely designed book I've ever seen. But yeah, I can see the appeal of like the very bare bones presentation. Some drawings. That doesn't. Is this from Heart of the Alien? Because they don't really show that. You know what that kind of looks like? Is that kind of looks like one of the creatures in Heart of Darkness a little bit. If you've never played this game, it's not long. I mean, the first time I played through it, it took me a while, but I played this new version when it was available on PSN. You know, it's easily finishable in a few hours, like 3 hours probably. Or if you really know what you're doing, probably less than an hour. I wonder what the speed run time is on it. I mean, this is basically taking you through the entire game. The biggest portion of the game takes place in these underwater or underground caverns, and that's definitely the hardest part of the game. Takes a while. There's the tank part. Yeah, see, it's funny because you just start hitting these buttons like randomly and quickly because it's all in an alien language that he doesn't understand. So he just buttons. Maybe one of these will eject him, and eventually it does. That must be something that he changed because it gives this impression of a city. And as he says here, the game technology leaks out in this city in primitive ways. I kind of like that there's a lot of technology present, like laser guns and stuff like that, but it all has a very I don't know what the right word to describe it was, like a primitive feel, regardless. But it's interesting because you have this entire city, and you have no idea what is what else is out there, and you never find out. I wonder if that's something that could ever be re-explored in a possible sequel. But I think that at this point, even though Heart of the Alien is part 2, there was no involvement of anybody. I guess there was no involvement of Eric Chahi in that. So that's more. I guess that could be viewed as more of a fan fiction at this point. Even though it says Out of This World parts 1 and 2, but I don't think that it's official. But I could be wrong on that. I'm just kind of talking about it, talking out my butt about it. So there it is. Not super impressive special edition, if I have to say so myself. I was more interested in the PC big box than anything else. Let's open this from the game and see if there's any kind of manual or anything in here. There was this was recently up for pre-order for the Switch as well, which I was back and forth on whether or not I was going to get, but ultimately I decided not to. Maybe I'll get it if I see it at a convention later on down the road or something like that. No manual, no inside artwork. The game itself is only it's 100, 200 megabytes or something like that. So there it is. That'll go on my shelf. I usually take the games out of the LEs and just display this above the shelves, but I put the games actually on the shelves with everything else. So yeah, close that up. By far the best thing about this is the box itself. Pretty cool. All right, there we go.